and welcome back to the archives. Um, I was gonna try and get an episode of this done last week, but things kind of got in the way, so I had to put it off till this week. Because this week we're gonna look at the next data pack in the Mumbad series. The last one I'll be covering because I've already covered Fear the Masses out of order, which I apologize for. But we're going to dive right into the Liberated Mind and all that glorious fun stuff. There is some new stuff coming out on the Android mainframe, which I've ordered. It's coming in. And then the new Flashpoint data pack cycle, which looks extremely interesting. Um, definitely looking forward to checking that out. There was also a tournament that I took part in, just a casual Netrunner tournament. I lost supremely, but I still had fun playing it. One of these days, I may have to see about getting a buddy of mine to film some of the tournament, just for kicks and giggles. So let's just jump right in and have a look at the wonderful Mumbad Cycle cards. Okay, here we have the Noble Path. It is an Anarch run event, 0 credits to play, 2 credit influence. You trash your grip, and you make a run. Prevent all damage during this run. The Saffron Sutra. He with nothing to lose has strength beyond imagining. And you have a guy, at least I think it's a guy, nice tattooed up, wearing a headgear in a meditation circle or something of the sort. Looks interesting. This is the type of card that would, I think, work best if you had no cards in your grip. So you just trash it and then you just run. So because you're trashing nothing. But if you wanted to actually trash cards, I'm sure there are other ways to make this work. I know there are certain cards you can get put out that end up triggering whenever you trash cards. So that could be an interesting little bit of synergy for this. I kind of like. I'm not too big on like. I'm not really into the whole Anarch scene. Usually, I tend to play either a criminal or a shaper when it comes to my runners. But yeah, could be good. Could be interesting. All right, on to the next card. Here we have Emptied Mind. 0 credits to play or to install. It has a little diamond up next to it, so it is a unique card. You can only have one of it active at any one time. Resource. When your turn begins, gain a click if you have no cards in your grip. Interesting. So that kind of plays with the Noble Path in a way. Especially if you trash your grip to make a run on the last click. Interesting. They cloak themselves in our shared heritage, in the wisdom of our religions, but make no mistake, they are terrorists and criminals. Inspector Lahani, Cybercrimes Division. It's got a nice. I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's just Minder Serene or not. It's hard to tell. But she's got a little circle where I think a bindi is supposed to be. I don't know. This is an Anarch card, of course. 3 influence cost. Definitely interesting. I like it that you can just gain an extra click, so that gives you 5 clicks. And that can be handy because I remember seeing another card in this data pack, which you need to have 5 clicks. So this can be helpful in setting that up. All right, on to the next. Oh, now we're into the criminal cards. And this is, I believe, that's Eli. That's one of the Corp Ices. I think that's Eli, supposed to be. Information Sifting is the name of the card. 1 credit run event. Make a run on HQ. If successful, instead of accessing cards, the Corp separates all cards into HQ into two face-down piles. Access all of the cards in one of the piles. You cannot access any cards in the other pile this run. Yes. Three influence cost on this criminal. I like this card. I like it because then it puts the corp in a very interesting position of they've got 5 cards in their hand. If they have 2 agendas, do they put them both in the same pile in the hopes that you don't pick that one? Or do they separate them knowing that the chances are that you're going to get them is next to nil? And if they only have the one agenda, do they go 1 card, 4 cards? Because then they're kind of telegraphing their moves. Or do they put the agenda in the 4 card and separate one like that? I like how this sets up interesting little plays that can happen. I really do. Okay, let's bamf off to the next card, and we're gonna hit some shaper cards. Out of the Ashes, 1 credit event run. Make a run. When your turn begins, if Out of the Ashes is in your heap, you may remove it from the game to make a run. Limit of 6 per deck. This is our 6 per deck card. 2 influence cost. So, interesting. All it does is you can pay a credit and play this and you make a run. And it goes in your heap. But whenever your turn begins, if you've got one of those in your heap, you can take it from the game and make a run for free. So that's just giving you 6 opportunities to make free runs as the game progresses when your turn begins. That can be very useful in certain shaper decks. 2 influence cost on this one. A rather gorgeous looking watercolor type of an image on this of a girl that seems to be, I don't know, reconstituting from ashes maybe? Possibly. I don't know. Kind of nice. I like it. Okay, on to the next. Here we have Liberated Cella. 0 credit, resource connection. 5 clicks and forfeit an agenda. Add Liberated Cella to your score area as an agenda worth 2 agenda points. The corp may forfeit an agenda to prevent this. If he or she does, remove Liberated Cella from the game. Let go your material attachments and realize that we are all immaterial. And it's got a rather wise-looking man with the golden temple in the background, supposedly Cella. Yes. This is the one I was saying that I caught a glimpse of, that you need 5 clicks. So the emptied mind helps set that up. As long as you've got this installed, emptied mind triggers if you have no cards in your grip. When your turn begins, you get an extra click. And if you have an agenda that you can forfeit, maybe an agenda that's worth nothing, which would be very handy, or a 1-point agenda, you can go, I forfeit that agenda, 5 clicks, and score this with worth 2 agenda points, kicking you up again. Now that can be extremely handy if you happen to have 6 points worth of agendas in your score area, and one of them is a 1 point. You can be like, now I have 7. What now? What now? I like this idea of you forfeit a whole turn and an agenda, but you get the fun of doing a wonderful end run, unless the corp wants to forfeit an agenda, which if they have 0-point agendas, they would have absolutely no problem in doing. Preventing you from getting 2 points? Yeah, sure. Corpse would do that. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Another shaper card here. We have Temple of the Liberated Mind. It too has a little diamond symbol, so only one of these can be active at any one time. 2 credits to install. A location Ritzy. 3 influence cost. you can place a power counter on Temple of the Liberated Mind for a click. You spend a hosted power counter, you gain a click. Use this ability only on your turn and only once per turn. Now this is the one that works very nicely with Liberated Cella, where you can spend a click and place a power counter on it, and then use it on your turn to gain 5 clicks, or to gain that extra click, and then spend all 5 and forfeit an agenda to score Liberated Cella. That's what this is entirely for, as well as I think the Emptied Mind also helps in that regard. It is rumored that Guru himself studied at the temple, applying its teachings to cyberspace. Many runners have followed in his path, but none have reached its end. The mysterious Guru, who we have yet to see on an identity card. Alright, on to the next. Rebirth. Now this is a neutral card, 0 credit to play event that costs 1 influence. Switch your identity with another identity from the same faction. Remove Rebirth from the game instead of trashing it. Limit 1 per deck. Who were you when you realized everything you knew was a lie? Now this is an interesting card. I kind of like the idea of it, that you can basically use this card for only a click and switch your identity with another runner from the same faction. So you could be playing Kate and switch it to Chaos Theory, or switch it to the Professor, or anything else. And because you're doing it mid-game, I think the normal rules of what can be in your deck don't apply. That your deck doesn't have to be the same after the use of Rebirth. It doesn't have to. I can make my words with this. It doesn't have to uphold the same level of influence limits and whatnot and minimum deck size that it does before as after you use it, because in that, if it did, then it would severely limit what you could do with it, and I don't think that's what they're aiming for. I could be wrong. I'm no expert on Android Netrunner, but I think it would be that way, that you're still technically running as, like if you were doing a Kate McCaffrey deck, I think it's Kate McCaffrey. If you were doing a Kate deck, then even if you switched partway through and decided to run someone else, another shaper, just for their special ability, then your deck is still considered to be a Kate deck, even though you've switched your identity. I'm not 100% sure on that. If anybody out there does happen to know for sure, please let me know in the comments. And we'll go to the next one here. Here we have Guru Devinder. 1 credit, resource connection. It is a 1 influence cost as well for a neutral. Prevent all net and meat damage. Whenever Guru Devinder prevents at least 1 net or meat damage, trash him unless you pay 4 credits. This body that we inhabit is fleeting. We, all of us, can live forever. And it's got a very guru-looking old man in a egg-like capsule, and then there is a holographic light projection that looks almost like a tree, but if you look closely, you can see the old man features in the beard and whatnot. So yeah, kind of interesting. I like this preventing all net and meat damage, and you trash him unless you pay 4 credits. So if you get him up for like 1 credit installed, you can be just like, nope, I prevent everything you just threw at me. I pay 4 credits and keep him. So as long as you got the money He's handy. I kind of like him. I kind of like him. All right, let's move on to the next. Here we have the Turning Wheel. Another diamond card, so you can only have one active at any one time. 2 credits to install this one. It is a neutral card with a 1 influence cost. A few neutral cards with influence cost. That's usually they don't have any. Resource Virtual. It's got a very, very nice contrast with the black and the red on the spinning wheel here. Whenever a run on HQ or R&D ends, place 1 power counter on the turning wheel if you stole no agendas during the run. 2 hosted power counters for the remainder of this run. Access 1 additional card from HQ or R&D. I like it. So if you get this out early and make runs on HQ and R&D, you can just load up the power counters on this. And then in the middle of a run, be like, I spend 2 power counters, I spend 2 power counters. I access 3 cards from R&D or 3 cards from HD instead of the 1. So yes, I like it. And the symbolism is nice because the turning wheel, everything eventually comes around, that sort of thing. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, now it's time to get into some corp cards. Here we have Brainstorm, a Haas Bioroid piece of ice. It is a Sentry AP, 9 credits to res, with a 2 strength. And a 4 influence cost. This is the sort of thing that is going to be more prevalent in HB decks than anything, but you can still, if you got the influence to spare, seed this into any other corp deck. When the runner encounters Brainstorm, it gains do 1 brain damage for each card in the runner's grip for the remainder of this run. Post on members only news group. Has anyone heard from Statics lately? The implication being that Statics ran into Brainstorm and is now brain dead. I like Brainstorm a lot. The artwork looks nice too because it looks like lightning storm, all purplish and evil. Yeah, I like it. This may have to go in. Pardon me. Oh, this may have to go in one of my HB decks. Maybe. All right, on to the next. We have another HB piece of ice. This is a Codegate Bioroid. Ravana 1.0. 3 credits to res, 5 strength, not a bad cost there. The runner can spend a click to break any subroutine on Ravana 1.0. And Ravana 1.0 has 2 subroutines that are basically resolve a subroutine on another piece of resed Bioroid ice. Both of them. So you can just be like, that one and that one. You take brain damage, you take brain damage. 1 influence on this, though. So this is a nice piece of ice that can be picked up and used in other decks. And the art looks just stunning. I mean, that's something I would like to have like on a full-size poster. That looks just amazing. One of the multi-armed gods of Hinduism, I believe. I'm not sure which one, but I'm no expert on Hinduism. All right, on to the next. Ooh, we have a Jinteki agenda, the dedicated neural net. 3 credit cost, 1 agenda point. Initiative, Psi. The first time there is a successful run on HQ, each turn. So each turn would be, each turn would be either the runner's turn or your turn. So the first time there's a successful run on HQ, each turn, you and the runner secretly spend 0, 1, or 2 credits. Reveal spent credits if you and the runner spent a different number of credits. You choose which cards the runner accesses from HQ for the remainder of this run. So as long as you score this, you have a chance to basically stop them from accessing certain cards in your HQ. But they still have to access however many cards they get. Um, so if they have it that they can access 3 cards, then they still access 3 cards, but you get to pick them, which could be handy, especially in a Jinteki deck where there's traps galore. Okay, on to the next. Here we have Chitana, a Ice Sentry AP Psi, 4 credit res, 3 strength. Yes, 3 strength. Oh, hold on. There we are, 3 strength. And we have 2 influence on this. It looks like jade beads or some sort of worlds, possibly in bubbles. Each player gains 2 credits, followed by you and the runner secretly spend 0, 1, or 2 credits. Reveal spent credits. If you and the runner spent a different number of credits, do 1 net damage for each card in the runner's grip. Feel your consciousness expand and touch this. And touch his. Now destroy it. Okay. So, unless the runner stops, decides to break that first one, both sides get 2 credits. Then they can both secretly spend 0, 1, or 2 credits. And if they spend a different number, you just do net damage for... You just take their entire hand from them. Nice. Nice. I like it. This is the kind of ice that would be going in my Jinteki trap deck to replace some ice. Because it's like, chance for net damage. Oh, I like it. Alright. On to the next. Here we have an NBN agenda, Puppet Master. It's got a very creepy looking puppet doing a dance with a creepy smile, dark hands reaching down from above. 5 credits to score this. 3 agenda points though. Whenever the runner makes a successful run, you may place 1 advancement token on a card that can be advanced. That could be handy. That could be handy. But 3 agenda points for a 5 cost, that would take a little bit of trouble to get out. Maybe. I'll have to think about that one. Have to think about that one being in my my NBN decks. Alright, on to the next. Here we have some NBN Ice. Waiver. 5 credits to res, 5 strength. An ice that's a Code Gate Tracer. It is a Trace 5. If successful, the runner reveals his or her grip. Trash each of those cards with a play or install cost equal to or less than the amount by which your Trace strength exceeded his or her link strength. It's amazing how small we can write the fine print these days. And it's got what looks like a fingerprint being drawn by light, I guess. So yeah, makes sense. The waiver, the fine print. So Trace 5, if they don't spend anything to break it and just let it go, which they could do. And if you pay, so let's say you don't pay and the runner can't pay. And the runner has a link strength of 2. So it would exceed it by 5, or by 3, I should say. So you would get to trash all the cards with a play or install cost equal to or less than 3. So everything that is 0, 1, 2, or 3 gets trashed. That can be quite devastating on a hand. Yeah, this is one that might have to go in my NBN deck. For sure. For sure. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Exchange of Information. Grey Ops. 0 credits to play this. Oh, I almost forgot to. Waiver was a 2 influence cost. This is a 1 or 2 influence cost as well. exchange of information, 0 credit play, operation, gray ops. Play only if the runner is tagged. Swap an agenda in your score area with an agenda in the runner score area. I like it. This is the corpse sort of version of Turntable, where Turntable is a console. This you can do just if the runner is tagged. And there are certain cards out there that let you give the runner tags, which is super helpful. Yeah, I would definitely throw this in one of my MBN decks. Definitely. I like it. And I believe, I don't know if that's, I know that's Victoria Jenkins there. I don't know who the guy is. I don't think it's the runner guy whose name I can't remember, but I think he is in another card with him, maybe. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay. On to the next. Here we have some Wayland Ice. That's a code gate. Red tape. 2 credits to res, 5 strength. Not bad. Not bad at all. All ice has +3 strength for the remainder of this run. Bureaucracy. Noun. A shell game played by the rich with prosperity as the ball. The trick is that there is no ball. The Anarch's Dictionary, volume Who's Counting. It is a 1 influence cost for Wayland. Good strength for res cost on this, and it boosts the strength of all ice once it if they hit it, which would make this one, if you had more than one of them, it would make this next one an 8. Oh, that would be evil to do. Put a red tape behind a red tape, behind another red tape, and then put another piece of ice below it, because they'd hit the first one, and if they didn't click that off, if they didn't pay to get rid of that subroutine, that would make the next piece of red tape strength 8, the next piece after it strength 11, and then the next piece of ice after that would have +9 strength. Oh, that would be horrible. But that's kind of, min-maxing a little bit. Just a little. Just a little. All right, on to the next. Here we have the Consulting Visit. 2 credits, operation. It is a double alliance operation. The card costs 0 influence if you have 6 or more non-alliance Wayland cards in your deck. As an additional cost to play this operation, spend a click. So it costs 2 clicks to spend. Lets you search R&D for an operation and play it, paying all costs, shuffling R&D. 3 influence cost on this. But if you have 6 or more non-alliance Wayland cards in your deck, this costs 0 influence. So that can be handy. And this is the guy that's in the Jinteki card, I believe. I think he is a relative of Jasminder Serene. She might be as well. I don't know about the guy. I'm not sure who he is. But all in all, they look like a formidable team, these 3, coming for the Consulting Visit. Yes. Quite like. And here we are at the last card in the deck. And it is a neutral ice. It is an ice barrier, 0 credit res, 0 strength. End the run. It's called Vanilla. A brand new invention. Which is amusing as heck. Also, no influence cost either. I like how they call it Vanilla, and it's just a barrier that ends the run, and that's it. Because it's very vanilla. I like it. I like it a lot. That is a card that I would... I could see myself throwing in some decks just for some barrier and the run, especially if the runner doesn't have a lot of barriers. You could use that easy. So yes, that's it for the Liberated Mind. The last data pack that I'll be covering, as I mentioned earlier, for the Mumbad Cycle. I'll be back again when the Flashpoint Cycle starts coming out, because I definitely want to take a look at those cards. And I may even do another episode here, maybe kind of talking about a new deck that I put together, maybe after I tweak it a bit, because I made a Sonny LeBeau deck that I brought down to the convention, or not the convention, to the tournament that I took part in, and while she didn't win any games for me, it was close a couple of times, and I managed to pull off some neat things. So I think with a little bit of tweaking, maybe that Sonny LeBeau deck might be pretty dang good. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. But I'm going to leave this, call this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please give that like button a tap. Give that subscribe button a tap as well if you haven't already, so you can be kept apprised of when I do new videos. I usually try and get out 1 or 2 videos a week if possible. And throw a comment in the comment section. If you like Android Netrunner, if you've got deck ideas, anything. Let's just get a discussion going. I'd love to talk to some people. So I'm going to call it a close here. But until next time, my friends, remember, keep running.